I remember a time when I used to be asked to make choices pretty often, especially as a kid. No, you cannot have both pieces of candy, pick one. No, you cannot have both movies, pick one. No, you cannot buy both toys, pick one. I guess as an adult, the manifestation of that became getting asked, what would you rather do? Would you rather do this or that? And I'll have this person do that. Then I thought, let me look up would you rather questions, because I remember playing a game like that and it was fun. And I said, all right, I'm going to look one up, randomly click on it, and see what kind of questions I get and what kind of answers I give. And I don't know what it is, but sometimes there's this weird ass noise that takes place. It sounds like something is just really rattling. It's been there regardless of who my neighbors are, because my neighbors have moved a few times. But anyway, if it comes on, just ignore it. Would you rather be stuck in a romantic comedy with your worst enemy or in a horror movie with your best friend? I think I would be in a horror movie with my best friend, because I like the idea of being stuck with this person. I'm trying to figure out how to make it work for us, how to survive. I almost wanted to say rom-com with a worst enemy, but then I thought I would rather suffer through something heinous with someone I actually enjoy being around than just being with someone who I don't like. And I cannot say that I have someone currently in my life that I can think of as an absolute worst enemy. And if I once did, then it's a good testament to my mental healing, because I deadass cannot think of anybody. Would you rather be able to speak every language in the world or be able to talk to animals? Fuck people. I would rather talk to animals, because there's a lot of stuff that I am curious about that I observe from them, and I can deduce things about them, but I don't get to hear their thoughts. And no matter what people say about animals just being beasts and not having any, I guess, intellectual thoughts, I'm pretty sure they have thoughts. I would rather dive into those. And when it comes to speaking every language in the world, I guess with technology, you can be spoiled nowadays and nothing is really a secret anymore. There are tools to be able to comprehend exactly what someone is saying, but there isn't any tools to directly know the exact thought of an animal. So to me, exploring a social life with an animal is so much better. And I also would like to talk to animals about the things that they do for us that we never credit them for. Would you rather always feel hungry or always feel tired? I'm never tired, so I guess I would rather always feel hungry, because if I were to start feeling tired, I think that would suck. I'm not used to being a tired person, but I'm used to feeling hungry and I can function through hunger, so why not? I'm familiar with feeling hungry. Although technically I should say that I should rather feel tired than hungry, because hunger is a very unpleasant, uncomfortable thing. But like I said before, because I don't know what it's like to be truly, truly, truly super tired, then I would rather go with what I'm familiar with, which is hunger. Would you rather have the ability to be invisible or to read people's minds? I think I would rather be invisible, because as much as reading people's minds for certain would just help make my life a whole lot simpler, I feel like I have a pretty good talent at reading people's minds anyways, getting a good feel for people without them saying anything. It's like a very strong intuition. It really wouldn't bring me much excitement to know exactly what someone is thinking. And besides, where you might see me, I believe in the freedom of people having thoughts. There are some thoughts that maybe they never wish to disclose. Why would I just invite myself into their minds? Or there's also the element of I would rather them feel comfortable with putting their thoughts into words on their own. Whereas if I'm able to reach your mind, it just feels like I'm stealing. I would rather turn invisible, because I think it would be a little bit more useful for me, in the sense of sometimes I dead ass don't want people looking at me, but then it would be pretty disturbing for people to see things that I carry with me just floating around. When it comes to invisibility, I think the idea that I enjoy about it is to not necessarily stalk people or creep on people, but be able to be present in a way where I don't bring attention to myself in any way. Say I would like to show up to my job just randomly and troll people and them not knowing that I'm there. But the problem with that is that I'm afraid of someone running into me because they can't see that I'm there. And all I know is people are bulldozing me from behind my back. So as much as invisibility sounds awesome, there are downsides to it that I would have to consider. But I think that I have a pretty good environmental awareness. It is very rare for me to just stand in the way. I think I would pick a corner. With a corner, I have my back and a good portion of my sides covered already. So I think I would have to just be aware of what's happening ahead of me and remember that I'm invisible, therefore make an effort to move out the way, which I already naturally do. Yeah, when it comes to invisibility, I also like the idea of just trolling animals as well. But animals tend to find things via smell anyway. I like the thought of doing something that I just cannot do at all. And I think that invisibility is one of those things. Whereas reading minds, you can usually deduce what someone might be thinking if you know this person super well. It's not really as special to me as something crazy like invisibility. Would you rather have a knife when you need a spoon or a spoon when you need a knife? This is awesome. I think I would rather have a knife when I need a spoon because honestly, a knife, if you wield it just right, you can scoop things just fine. And you can also sip on things just fine. Now, using a spoon when you need a knife, there is no cutting animal flesh very efficiently with a spoon. No matter how much time I have on my hands, no matter what happens, I am not touching food with my hands. And there have been times in which I haven't had a fork, but I had a knife and I was able to just pick through things just fine. But I've always thought that when it comes to usefulness, a knife is just better. It's much more simple. Now, if it were ice cream, I can already see myself like just poking around the edge of the ice cream container, and then as I glide it, the ice cream is kind of gonna roll over the knife. I know what I'm saying because I have done it, but I'm not very good at putting it into words. I think I would rather have a knife over a spoon anytime. Honestly, I go most of my days needing a knife more than a spoon. Would you rather live in a barnyard of animals in your house or live in the barn with the animals? Barnyard of animals in your house or live in the barn with the animals? I'm not sure about this one. I think I would rather live in the barn with the animals because I fight with Dusty pretty often trying to get him to stay away from certain things that I have. So imagine having barn level animals to manage like that. It's a disaster. Would you rather have 2 long front teeth like a beaver or no teeth at all? I think I would rather have the 2 teeth because teeth, no matter what, are very necessary. And for me to start living my life with no teeth at all, at least if appearance worries me, I can wear something over that to where it really won't mess with me. But another thing that worries me about not having teeth is that my ability to speak is going to be affected because even though we don't really think about it, teeth do play a little bit of a part when you speak. Now, those 2 front teeth, I have no idea what it would be like to have them, but I mean, imagine trying to speak like this. It just makes a difference to have teeth. So I think that the 2 teeth, first of all, as a tool for eating, is just the best way to go. But I think that these teeth better be indestructible because they're going to be carrying the entire weight of everything that I eat. They're probably going to be more stressed and more susceptible to breaking. Hopefully there's a solution for that. Would you rather have to use shrimp flavored toothpaste or deodorant that smells like cheese? Definitely deodorant that smells like cheese because shrimp, when it's cooking, it's one of the most disgusting smells in the world. Any kind of crustacean that's cooking, it is just a sewer smell that I cannot fucking get over. Anything ever is always going to smell better than shrimp. I'm very specific about the flavors in it, and I can guarantee you that something that smells like fish, something that reminds me of fish, the ocean, it's not going to be the kind of scent that I'm going to appreciate on my teeth. I think I would rather just survive the smell of cheese on me. Sweaty cheese, I guess. And I know that the flavor of toothpaste dissipates, but for me, the smell of deodorant also dissipates at some point. I just don't want to taste shrimp anymore. And I used to like shrimp, but nowadays I've gone so long without it, and I technically cannot have shrimp flavored toothpaste because even if the shrimp is actually not there presently, I have a degree of an intolerance slash allergy to shrimp. Do I really need to be fucking with that? No. Would you rather have 100 duck-sized elephants or one elephant-sized duck? I think I would rather have... Ducks are freaking cool, but I don't need them to be that huge. I think I would rather have 100 duck-sized elephants. But the problem with that is that I'm gonna have to monitor 100 of them. But an elephant-sized duck is still going to be hella destructive. So I'm not really going to stress too much over that. Because at least these 100 elephants, I don't think they would be as destructive as the duck can possibly be. Because remember, a duck can fly, can swim, and it can also walk. So I think that what would they need? Those tiny elephants. How much destructive power do they actually have? It's just 100 of them. Would you rather listen to an annoying laugh for a whole day or get tickled for 1 hour? I think I would rather hear the annoying laugh for a whole day because, fortunately, there is such thing that I own as noise cancelling headphones and I can deal with noise. But tickling, you guys know that I don't like to be touched. Even if it's not a person touching me, I do not like the sensation of certain objects just rubbing against me. And me being tickled, I turn very violent. Being tickled genuinely upsets me. So I think I can deal with noise for a whole day rather than that ticklish feeling that after it's over, after an hour, I'm still gonna feel the phantom tickle. And I don't want that. I just don't like to physically feel unpleasant sensations. Whereas auditory stuff, I can block it out. Would you rather eat all your food with your hands or use utensils with only your non-dominant hand? Psh, I can use both hands. The only thing I don't do very well is cutting with my left. But sometimes, without thinking about it, I eat with my left. I use a fork with my left. I use a spoon with my left. I stir the pot as I'm cooking with my left. My grandma did that. My mom does that. I do that. I can certainly do that. I don't touch food. Unless it's something bready or something like a sandwich and I don't have a choice, sure. But I'm telling you, I never touch food. Would you rather be a kid your whole life or an adult your whole life? I would rather be an adult my whole life because when I'm a kid, there's restrictions. And at least as an adult, there are certain restrictions that I don't have to worry about. The things that I can watch, the conversations I can be present for, the ability to drive, the ability to be present anywhere that as a child you may be prohibited from being in certain places. And I also don't like being a tiny human. I need to be tall. I need to be my current size and height and strength. Now, I would certainly like to put a certain age on repeat. Would you rather a ding sound every time you wink or a pow pow sound every time you make a finger gun? I think I would rather the pow pow sound because it's so much cooler. But instead of pow, I want for it to go pew, pew, pew. I don't wink often in my day, but I may certainly gesture like this more often. Would you rather speak in a baby voice for a day or be spoken to in a baby voice for a day? I think I would rather be spoken to in a baby voice for a day. I don't like squeaky tones coming out from me. Would you rather spend the day wearing wet socks or with a popcorn kernel stuck in your teeth. Definitely have the popcorn kernel stuck in my teeth, because when I have wet socks, that's all I can think about and my feet get super cold. Whereas if I have the kernel, sure, it's annoying and I'll be messing with it and playing with it all day, but at some point I know that it's gonna come out. But with wet feet, that can have other consequences, and I really don't want to deal with stuff like fungus developing on my feet. Would you rather kiss everyone you meet or never kiss anyone again? I think I would rather... Shit. This is gonna be a tough one. I think I would rather kiss everyone I meet, because to me, kissing in an intimate setting is very important, and it's not something I want to give up. But this is not an invitation for any clown out there to demand that I kiss them. There was someone I used to be friends with, no longer friends with, for this reason. It's this individual who is not part of our culture. He's not an American. He came from somewhere else. When we used to hang out, he started having this stupid fucking habit. We weren't dating or anything, nothing remotely close. He was like 30 years older than me. And when we would hang out, he started picking up a habit of greeting me by hugging me and then immediately kissing me, which I understand that exists in some places, for I have seen it. But me personally, when I say I don't do that, don't touch me, don't do that, I mean I don't do that, don't touch me, I don't do that. This individual created the excuse of, next time you see me, I would like for you to greet me with a kiss on the cheek. And I'm like, no, that's the first fuck up. And second, he was saying, well, that's the way that we greet in our culture. And I'm like, you said it, your culture. My culture is nothing like that. That has nothing to do with me. Don't make any mistakes. Don't do that shit. Because that happened and I expressed myself, and this is how this person responded. I said, you're definitely a creep. I'm definitely not comfortable in your presence. I don't care how good a friend you were up until this point. It's over. Goodbye. That was 6 years ago. And this individual had the nerve to ask me at some point if I was mad at them. And I'm like, yes and no. I'm indifferent about your existence now. You disrespected me and you tried to justify that. I lost respect for you. It's over. You are no longer good for me, and we clearly cannot exist in the same space as friends anymore. Goodbye. You're done. I'm done. So that's why I had to think about it. If you wondered why I couldn't immediately be like, hell yeah, never kiss anyone again. But then also I had to think about it is because I had a background story. Would you rather have a head the size of a small grapefruit or the size of a giant watermelon? I enjoyed the fact that compared to average people, I have a relatively small head. So I think I would rather have the small head. Anything having to do with gigantism just never sounds as good as you think. And if I'm sitting here criticizing large vehicles, then imagine me personally having a body part that's just abnormally big. And would this be susceptible to more damage? If I bump into things, you know, that your brain cannot be getting hit like that, what kind of consequences is that going to have? So I think it would be easier to take care of a grapefruit-sized head than a watermelon-sized head. Just because your head is bigger, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not as prone to injury, I would imagine. Would you rather be the cowboy riding the bull or the clown who distracts it? I think I would rather be maybe the clown who distracts it, because I have a degree of confidence about my ability to dodge the bull or stay away from it more than riding it and not getting crushed by it or immediately tackled by it if I fall off. I think that being the distracting clown gives me more time to be able to predict the bull and escape from it. Would you rather be followed by a band wherever you go or by someone narrating your life? I think I would rather be followed by the band because I love music. I need music every opportunity I have. Right now, I'm not listening to it because I like to give my ears a little bit of a break from sounds. But I do not need someone narrating my life. I can do that. And I think that narration is unnecessary if I know how my life plays out. So I don't see the usefulness of narration, but I can certainly benefit from the music. This is question number 20, and this is where I'm going to end because I believe that this is a 250 question survey. So I think I'm gonna do 20 of them every single round, or maybe 25 in some cases. I'm not sure how I'll break it up, but I think that we're long enough on this video. Would you rather get $1 every time you compliment a stranger or $100 every time you insult a stranger? I think I would rather get $1 every time I compliment somebody, only because it's safer. If I'm continuously going out there and insulting strangers, there's someone who's not going to take it well. And I think that may incite violence, and it would totally be my fault for doing this to a person who clearly cannot control themselves. For me, safety is my top priority. If I have to just fake kindness and just say something nice, but at least no one is going to react negatively, as negatively, with worse consequences to that, then I would rather do that. And even if I have to get only $1, at least in a day, maybe I'll compliment 10 people and make $10. I would rather do that than, oh, let me make a quick buck by running the risk of insulting the wrong person. See what I mean? It's a question of values, the way I look at it. And you guys know me, I am in no hurry to make a fuck ton of money, especially in an easy and lazy way. But this one is potentially an unsafe kind of setting. So, no, I would rather get the $1 and compliment somebody. All right, well, there you guys have it. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you were curious where I was getting these questions from, I'm on countryliving.com, and this is entitled Funny Would You Rather Questions, and I stopped at number 20. I will return to the rest of these. Hopefully this tab doesn't close on my phone. It shouldn't. It usually doesn't, but sometimes I forget that I have it open for a reason. Or sometimes I'll open up a new link and this tab was already open, so it'll load on this tab instead. So I'll be careful. All right, I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Let me know your answers to these if you wish.